Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone. Hello, nice to see so many agents. Thank you for joining us. I can see many colleagues that I know since many, many years, always attending the Weba workshops and cooperating with Weba. Thank you to join us today. Is the 18th of February and is 11:05 Swiss time. Central European time, we have 75 agents with us today, and this is very excellent. So today we have a workshop focused on study in France. We will welcome shortly Collège de Paris, who will give an introduction. And I can see that more agents are joining us today. Fantastic. So I invite everyone always to remain on mute modality. This is very, very important. And if you have some questions, as you know, on Zoom below there is a chat system. You can always put your question down at the chat system. So I will be able to read it and I will then forward your questions to the representative of Collège de Paris, which is David Samper. I can see that David is already here today. Hello, David. You can unmute yourself.
Hello everyone. Bonjour depuis la France.
Bonjour, bonjour. I hope everything is well with you at Paris. And we are now here today for the first time and welcome Collège de Paris. And they will give an introduction. He will share a presentation about Collège de Paris. And you will be invited, logically, to work with Collège de Paris. And when the workshop is finished, I will do a follow-up email. I will send you a copy of the webinar as well. So everyone will have a copy of the webinar. So there is no need to ask us to record this. So we will record this for you. We will send an email and we will send you all the details about Collège de Paris. We will send you a copy of the PowerPoint presentation as well. So you have everything at once when we send you the email. David, tell me a little bit about you, about Collège de Paris, about the weather in Paris today. I think it's always nice to hear about Paris, which is one of my preferred city, by the way. I've been many, many times to Paris.
Hello everyone. Thank you for this time and the opportunity to speak to all of you. Here in Paris is crowded, little bit sun, but mainly crowded and quite cold. So I suppose some of you are on a better weather. But however, Paris is always Paris. So you get in love with it even if you don't like it. So, Paris. Why I'm here is to introduce you Collège de Paris, who is a group of higher educational institutions, not only in France, but also in Europe and Africa. We're going to go exactly little by little, point by point. And I'm here to represent it because I'm the developer manager to create new network of agencies. Collège de Paris is 20 years old. They start in France and they have been developing themselves around Europe and Africa, they just say. Richard, do you
Fantastic.
want I go directly to
No.
the
It's good. It's
presentation?
good. You give me a little bit of time because I can see that more agents join us. We have now 87 agents who are inside with us today. And as I mentioned before, welcome to everyone. I know many of you, I know you're coming from different parts of the world. I can see agents coming from Southeast Asia, from India, from Africa, from Central European, from everywhere. I can see as well from someone from Latin America. So welcome. It's very late in the evening. So I think this is very, very interesting. David, you are more than welcome to share your screen and start with the presentation, and all the agents just remain on mute modality. And if you have any questions, just put down the question on the chat system. And as I mentioned before, I will organize a follow-up email And in this follow-up email, you will find a copy of the recorded workshop, of the presentation as well, the PowerPoint presentation, and more information about Collège de Paris. So I think we can start now. My name is Richard Affolter. I'm the director of Weba, and we do a lot of workshops online and in person. And today we focus on study in France with Collège de Paris, and David Samper is with us here today. David, the floor is all yours.
Thank you, Richard. Thank you. Again, hello everyone. Welcome to this first time Collège de Paris presentation through Weba. I'm very happy to have the opportunity to speak to all of you. I will do the presentation in English. In any case, you do need any explanation from Latin America in Spanish or Portuguese, let me know. Or if there is any agency from French-speaking countries, I can also answer in French if needed. So let's start. Considering you are all professionals of that business, I will not go to those classical points or details about the programs because we all know what a higher education or higher institution is. So we will focus on what's interesting, sales point, and extra things about Collège de Paris. First thing, Collège de Paris is an international institution, is a holding for over 20 different colleges and private universities in France, Spain, Malta, Morocco, Tunis, Cameroon, Togo, and Africa destinations. So we do welcome students either in Europe, either in Africa. Of course, the main point of any higher education institution is the excellence in education. I do think if you are not good today on the market, you are just kicked out. There is a lot of competition, there is a lot of professional. So if you are not good, you are not here. And of course, the support to every and each student toward employment. If they pay us for education, is to give them the opportunities to find a better job. That's quite common. But for me, after 15 years in this industry, what made Collège de Paris something different is the international opening. Not because we recruit international students, that's 101 international education, but because what we give to the students is the possibility to study abroad. Not only because they will come from India, from Nigeria, from Mexico, from Brazil, from Korea to France, but because every single year they will have between 2 and 4 RECs. What we call a RECs is when the class, the group, goes from their main campus, doesn't matter if it's in France or in Morocco, to another country to have a learning expedition. Today, for example, I was speaking with part of the team who are in Sevilla. So part of the team and the students who were yesterday in Paris, today they are having a 1-week experience in Sevilla, having classes, having cultural visit, having an introduction and inclusion to our campus in Sevilla. So that's extremely interesting for your students who come from Sri Lanka, Nigeria, to discover other countries in Europe or outside Europe. Also because we have our Global Free Mobility program. These programs, because of its names, says that every student that is registered in Collège de Paris will have the opportunity to spend a term or 1 year in any of our partner institutions for no extra cost. Of course, they will need to pay for the year, no change on that. Of course, they will need to pay for their accommodation and food, obviously, but there is no extra cost. And for the one who know a little bit about Mexican education, we do work with Anáhuac University. Anáhuac, just to let you know, for the ones who are not very familiar with Mexican education, is on the top 3 universities institutions. Okay, so any of your students that come to Paris to do bachelor or master, they can move for one term or 1 year to Mexico, to Argentina, to Athens, to Dubai, to Brazil, to Vietnam, to Japan, to Brussels, to Casablanca to spend this time. And this, from my point of view, is something interesting and something differential from the rest of the competition and the rest of the universities or college you used to promote. I am pretty sure Richard, who is from Switzerland, who is an extremely international country, do know that when a student do several years or several learning expedition or learning experience in different countries, their mind is just completely open. So this is important.
I have a question, David. I have a question. I
Go for
like
it.
your introduction, and I think it's very, very interesting. And we are now reaching about 95 agents, so many more join us at the moment. For your information, welcome to the new one that just join us. We are here with Collège de Paris. How many campus you have in France, David?
Too many. I really don't know. Just
Approximately
to give you an idea, Astencia, approximately, I would say around 40 different campuses.
40 campuses. So
40 campuses. Yes, but why 40 campuses? Because, for example, our business school, Astencia, who is specialized in the Paris region, they have already 5 campuses in Paris.
okay.
They have north, west, south, so they have different ones. The same thing in the region of Lyon, who is on the east, close to Switzerland, on the east of France, we have 3 different buildings. In the south, we have over 7, depending on the campus, depends on the brand of the university, the specialization of the university. So it's quite complicated sometimes about the number of campus. Then we have another one in Malta, one in Sevilla, one in Valencia, one in Morocco, one in Sousse, Tunis, one in Tunis. In Yaoundé, we do have 3 campuses. So we have a lot of campuses. When I will explain you the destinations and the programs, we will focus on the campus where we used to welcome international students. Why I say that is because 90% of our students globally, speaking about the over 75,000 students Collège de Paris manage yearly, they are French. And French have some programs, BTS, Bac plus 2, different to the programs for international students who are 100% in English, because that's one of the benefits of studying with Collège de Paris. The programs I will present to you are 100% in English. So we can, if you want, Richard, we can just move forward. Now what
Yes.
we have here, our branch, we go to the programs. So as I say, we have here business schools in Paris for Astencia, Lyon region for Eczema. Eucrea is our specialist in the northeast, close to Germany. Case is located on the south of France, Montpellier, Nice. EFSIS in Sevilla, in Spain. Brits International in Dubai. CAD is our college design in Brussels. Collège de Paris, Maroc, we have it in Casablanca. Collège de Paris in Sousse, Tunis. Institut de l'Événement is part of project management and events coordination in Paris. Amilcar University in Tunis. And STM with different campuses in Paris, Nice, Luxembourg, Geneva. And those are just some of the examples. If we focus on the programs or on the main campus for international students, who's going to be Paris. We speak about the campus at Zenith. Zenith is located in La Défense, who is the business district in Paris. We are around 15 minutes by RER from the city center of Paris. This is the location of the campus, and those are some of the examples. Richard is organizing a visit in April to our campus in Paris and to our campus in Brussels.
Yes, this is something that I wanted to
We
inform to everyone. Now we're reaching 100 agents, and this is excellent. By the way, David, this is quite unique to have 100 agents for a presentation online. We will organize on the 8th of April a fam trip study tour in France and in Belgium. So when we do the follow-up email after the workshop, which you will receive a copy of the recorded workshop, you will receive a copy of the PowerPoint and all the information. You will receive as well the information to apply for to visit the campus in Paris, in France, and in Brussels, in Belgium. Just to clarify this point that now everyone is here with us today. David?
Perfect. So we keep moving. Now we move for the programs. All those programs are taught in English, 100% in English. And because you're going to ask me later on, the level required of English is an IELTS 6. Okay? Minimum IELTS 6. We do offer BBA, classical Bachelor of Business Administration, 3 years program, Masters and MSc in International Marketing, Hospitality, Culinary, Fashion and Luxury, Food and Beverage. You can read it. Prices, that's important. First year of Master, 12,000 euros. Second year of Master, 6,000 euros. Second year of Master, students have the possibility to do an alternance. Alternance is something I will explain after the catalog, after explaining you the programs, because it's something that you will love it for your students. Then our MBAs, same price, 12,000 first year, 6,000 second year. Very important. We do request at least 5 years of experience to access the MBA. If the student has less than 5 years of experience, we recommend a master instead of the MBA. Then we have the online MBAs for students that cannot travel or cannot spend 2 years in France. So we do offer online MBAs with a 50% scholarship for all our partner agencies or all Weba partner agencies, staff, and family. So if you want your staff to be updated and to have an MBA, just let us know through Richard. We can give you a 50% scholarship on the online MBA. And finally, the DBAs, Doctorate on Business Administration. We are just finalizing our new syllabus because there is some updates on Europe regulations. And in 2-3 months, we will have a full new syllabus for our DBA. So those are the programs available in Paris.
I have a
Very
question,
important.
David. David, I have a question.
Yes.
If you can go back to the bachelor first. So you mentioned 6.0 on IELTS. This is fine. Do you accept as well other English certificate or only IELTS?
We do not request the certificate. This is the level. If you say, I can say IELTS 6 or I can say high B1 or B2. We do not request, especially the IELTS. I don't care if it's a Duolingo, an English language school, or for example, in Nigeria, or in India, they already speak English. So I just need the level, not the diploma.
Okay, so this is very important, ladies and gentlemen. As you know, the one who are coming from an English-speaking country like Kenya, like Nigeria, like India, is important that they can provide a letter from the school that they had English so in the last 2 years so that we can check this document. This is very, very important. And for all the other, you can provide as well a TOEFL, you can provide as well a Cambridge English certificate. There is no need to have an IELTS. He just mentioned IELTS to give you an idea. They want to have 6.0 on IELTS or as equivalent English certificate. And as well for Pakistani, that is a little bit different. So everyone is important. The level should be 7 to 6.0 beside the country where the main language is English, like I mentioned now Nigeria, just to give an idea, or Kenya or Uganda, just to for the people from Uganda who are here today. Thank you, David. Sometimes I will ask you some questions because I know
Perfecto.
exactly.
Another important point is that our MBAs are recognized by the Royal Business College. So every that has an MBA with Collège de Paris will also receive the MBA from the Royal College of Business in Birmingham. That's extremely interesting for these countries with a higher influence from the UK education. Then we move to Montpellier. Montpellier, located in the south of France, much better weather than what we have today in Paris, but we only offer bachelors in English. 3 bachelors, each one of those bachelors, 3 years of studies. BBA, Bachelor in Business Administration, Bachelor in Tourism and Hospitality, and Bachelor on IT. This is very interesting for your students, mainly because of the cost. The education in Montpellier, the country, the city, is cheaper than Paris. Everything is cheaper than Paris. But also the cost of the university is cheaper. We spoke of 8,000 euros per year. You as agencies that are used to send students to Canada, to UK, to the States, you know that a bachelor for 8,000 euros per year is extremely interesting. Extremely interesting. 100% English touch, so the student can access those bachelors without doing a pathway program, without doing any kind of preparation program, just with a high school diploma for a very interesting price.
David, I'm sorry if I'm interrupting you again.
No.
Before we go forward, a very important point is now we have 2 locations. One is Paris and one is Montpellier. There are 2 cities in France. Now in Paris, the bachelor is 10,000 and in Montpellier is 8,000. What is the deposit fee students need to pay, David, for Paris and for Montpellier?
The deposit is always 50% of the first year. So for a program, a bachelor program in Paris is going to be 5,000. For a bachelor program in Montpellier is going to be 4,000 for the deposit to receive the documents for the visa. At the end of the presentation, I have the full procedure of registrations, so we can go on details because we do not request any upfront payment before the interview, before the checking of the documents, of the dossier, of all the marks. So no student is paying if he is not pre-accepted.
Perfect, perfect. Thank you, David. Thank you to clarify this point. This is always very, very important. So there is no fee in advance to pay, only after the student will be accepted, only after the interview that we check all the document. If everything is fine, then you receive a confirmation letter. The students need to pay 50%, and for Paris is 5,000, and for Montpellier, in this case, is 4,000 for the bachelor program. The same is for the master and the MBA, David. Is the same for the master and the MBA?
Exactly. 0.5% of first year. So masters and MBA is 6,000 euros to receive the visa documents.
Thank you. Okay, let's move forward.
Next destination, we move northeast. We go to Eucrea, and the zone of Strasbourg is where the champagne is made, Reims or this zone. Here we do have a BBA on IT and a Master in Gastronomy and Hospitality. Remember, because this MBA, we do request the students to have experience. Same registration, 50% after they are accepted. Then we go down to Lyon, close to the Swiss border, where we have a Master in International Sales Management, 12,000 euros first year, 6,000 euros second year. The Institut Supérieur de l'Événement, to give you an idea, this institution and the staff of that institution participate on the logistic and on the organization of the Olympic Games this summer. Even if you like the ceremony or not, that's personal, just to let you know that this institution do prepare the staff to be part of this type of events and these logistics. We do the bachelor, 10,000 per year, and we do the MBA in event project management. STM, our IT institution. Here you can see we have 3 different masters that are always, of course, changing and getting updated. For example, something interesting for your students that are on the IT side, STM has a high connection with Japan. Most of the students from STM do their study abroad experience in Japan with our partner universities in Japan. They do these masters in web and application development, big data, cybersecurity. But of course, what I do present today, for sure, in 2 years' time is going to be completely different. IT today is changing every single day. So that's something completely in complete movement. Super trendy, very useful. And for those students, alternance that I will explain you later is extremely, extremely interesting. Then we go south, we go to Sevilla. From my point of view, the second best city in Spain after Madrid, but because I'm from Madrid, but it's still the second best city in Spain. We do have a BBA, Master in International Development, and an MBA, 8,000 euros and 10,000 euros per year for the master. Very interesting price. Sevilla also provides very cheap living cost and quite possibilities of working because it's very touristic.
Can I point out something here? If you come back to Sevilla, ladies and gentlemen, I give information about France and Belgium, and Sevilla is in Spain, and Collège de Paris, for the one who came late, just for information, they have several campuses around the world. And maybe, David, can you just in 20 seconds briefly tell us where the campuses are located? We have France, Belgium, Spain.
Belgium, Spain, Tunis, and Morocco. Those are the main campuses.
So very important. Now the presentation is logical focus on France and Belgium, but David is explained as well about other campus location. In this case, I want to point out something about Spain. Visa for Spain is at the moment excellent. Excellent for many, many countries. We work with Spain. We are familiar with students going to Spain. So this is just a suggestion for the one. Maybe happen that the visa will be rejected, as David mentioned before. He mentioned before the UK. And we all know that the UK is become very strong on the visa process. Not only the visa process, but as well for acceptance of students, because sometimes the academic level is too low, sometimes the English level is too low, etc. So Spain can be an excellent alternative. And the bachelor is very interesting, is 8,000 euros. So the deposit fee is 4,000. The English requirement is based on IELTS 6.0 or equivalent. So you can provide as well other English certificate, as I mentioned before, TOEFL, Cambridge, and so on and so on. There are many English certificates which are valid. So consider Spain as an optimus for the one who want to do not have enough financial because, as I mentioned, David, Sevilla, to live in Sevilla, the living cost is much lower than living in Paris. David, this is correct, no? I mean, Paris.
Yes. If you compare Sevilla and Paris, we may be speaking about 50% in accommodation, in food, in transportation, everything. Everything is much cheaper.
Yeah, so this is something that everyone know. I mean, Paris is a fantastic city, but it's good that Collège de Paris has different campus around France, like in Montpellier, like in Nice as well, like in Lyon, if I'm correct as well.
Yes,
Lyon, which is close to Switzerland, and now in Spain. And I presume the next slide is Belgium.
exactly. And finally, Belgium. Belgium, located in the north of France. This is our design school. We do fashion design, interior design, and communication and digital design. This is a very professional institution. Just to let you know, over 90% of the students finish the bachelor with a job offer because our or their exams, to be realistic, they are not writing down exam. All those pictures are real picture of the school. So the exam of fashion design is to create the fashion, to create the dress, to create the pants, to create everything. For example, the interior design exam for last December, it was organized through Zara Home. So instead of doing a classical theoretical exam, the students do present to the buyers at Zara Home. In case you don't do not know, Zara is one of the biggest shops in clothes and decoration in the world. They present to them their projects, and it was a professional appointment to have or not validated their knowledge. So if you have students ready to do fashion design, interior design, this is 100% a good option. We do have bachelors and we also have masters, but because I prefer to put the pictures, I didn't put so much text on it. But it's a beautiful, beautiful school that you will visit in April if you come with Weba's tool.
David, I'm starting to get in many questions. Maybe let me go first to you. One of the question was the fee for the master in Spain and the fee for the master in. Okay, here we go. So we have the MBA. So in Spain, there is an MBA which is 10,000 euro. The MBA is the total fee is 10,000 euro for 2 years. Correct?
No, 10,000 euros per year.
Per
For
year. Okay.
Spain,
So there is
10,000 euros per year.
Okay, then it's different than France because France has
Yes,
a package price which is for 2 years. So just to clarify this point, so it's 10,000 euro per year. This is a 2 years MBA in international management and business strategy. What about in Brussels? What is the fee for the master? Just to clarify this point,
10,000 per years.
as well, 10,000 per year, and it's a 2 years.
Yes, 2 years, exactly.
Okay, now we have to go to some question come inside. One came from Malin. In refer of study gap, let me explain. A student finish the high school and will not start immediately the university. How much is the gap usually? Can they come after 5 years? For example, here in Switzerland, you can study as well if you're 32 years old. There is no gap here in Switzerland. The question is in France.
We do accept gap year if it's justified on the CV.
Okay,
So
perfect.
if it's for a bachelor and the student, it happens normally in African countries. Finish the high school, go to work with the family, and 2 or 3 years later, they have the possibility to study. This is perfect. That's not a problem. The same thing happens for masters. Of course, there is always a gap year for the masters. So when the gap year is logic, we accept it.
Okay. A very important question came inside from another agent. In this case, it was from Mr. Khan. what is the refund policy in case of visa refusal?
There is two costs. There is the 50% of the first year tuition and a 290 euros a registration fee. I will open on the PDF the price list. The refund is very easy. We refund you everything except the 290 euros.
Okay. So then there is the 290 euros must be paid when the candidate registered or after you accept him, just to clarify this point.
On the 50%, they will pay. So I will go to the everything. You send us the reception or the application form or the documents. I read that someone asked about the documents requested. So we will need motivation letter, copy of the passport, English level, the transcripts for university or high school, or those documents. You send it on Monday, for example. On Tuesday, my staff and my team will check those documents and will invite you and your student to the interview. That's gonna take place on Wednesday, for example. If the interview works correctly and the student has the right English level, the motivation, we know that this student is a good fit for our institution, Thursday or Friday morning, you will receive the conditional acceptance letter plus the invoice for 50% of first year. In this invoice, we do include 2,090 euros.
290.
Registration.
290.
290. 290. And 50% of first year. As soon as we receive the money, normally through Flywire, we will send you the documents for the visa. We do use blockchain confirmation, so they are perfectly traceable. They are very difficult to copy. And you present your visa. In case there is a visa refusal, that may happen, so we all know that. You send us the copy of the visa refusal. We check it with Campus France on the country of origin to be sure it's a legitimate visa refusal letter. And we send you back through Flywire the full amount, except or less 2,090 euros of administration fee.
Perfect. So this is very clear. So to make a long story short, there is no registration fee in advance. The registration fee is included on the deposit when the student is accepted. Only after the student is accepted, there will be a deposit, and in this deposit is integrated 290 euro. Let's presume your students will not get a visa. In this case, Collège de Paris will refund the total amount minus 290 euro, which is the registration fee, correct?
Correct.
Perfect. Now we have more questions coming in at the moment. How much year gap? Again, we already explained before, but I reply one more time. Collège de Paris accept gap, there is no problem, but important is that the students will present a CV and explain why the gap, why is this gap, so maybe he start to work or maybe he start another university, then after he change. So the university, Collège de Paris, will need to know. So they need to read the CV of the students in order to understand if they can accept the students or not. So very important in refer of the gap. Then we have another question. If a student have one semester, don't have a home institution. This Mrs. Malen, I did not understand the question. Sorry. Can you please re-explain this one more time? Then we have questions. This coming from Pakistan. if a student has more than 5 years gap, 5 years gap, David, tell me, is this possible as well if in the CV is included?
Depends what he have been doing, because the problem of a gap is when there is no explanation about a gap. If your gap is because you have been working or doing a study or living in another country because your parents move, I don't know, from Pakistan to Malaysia. So you have been doing something different. That's not a gap. The problem of the gap is when we do not know what this student have been doing and why after 5 years of who knows, he wants to study.
Perfect. I have another question. Still an affair of the deposit. They are small detail, but are very important. Let's presume a student will get a visa rejection. It can happen. How long it take College de Paris to refund the fee usually? Are these in a one
Normally
month's time?
30 to 60 days, because we need to confirm with the Campus France and the embassy at the home country that is a true visa rejection.
Perfect. Then we go from Georgia. We have more questions coming in from Georgia. Um, is possible, maybe this in a second step, about the application. Do you have a portal? Is this done online?
Everything is done by email. We are still quite old-fashioned,
Okay.
but because every country use different systems, so we do need to check everything. Some people is sending us WhatsApp image, some people is sending us very clear PDF. It's not that easy to use it through a portal. So today everything is by mail with the international admission team.
Okay, okay. And now I understand the question from Aline. Maybe you can read as well, David. She just sent a message. To make a long story short, she asked if a student can do part of the semester in the home country. So in this case, I presume she is coming from Tunisia, for example, and she wants students doing part of. I think this is a bit complex, Malin. We have to go in this step in a second step because this is very individual in this case. So it's difficult to answer the
No, but
question.
I understood Marine's question, because it's the same thing in Latin America. In Latin America, and maybe in your country, Marine, is the same thing. Some students either took the gap year doing a semester on a university to try. That is completely possible. We do have a prices adapted by semesters, or some students that are doing their university at home wants to do a semester abroad, but some universities do not have a lot of partnership. So yes, we can accept students for one semester, either as a study abroad experience for their universities or as a gap year between high school and universities on their home country. If they do only one semester, we will give them a certificate with the number of hours and credit they do receive. So they can present this certificate to their home university that will validate those credit or contact hours, depending on the system you are applying to, so they can validate those courses. Marin, I get your question. Perfecto.
Thank you very much. Thank you, David. Then we have more question come inside about if College de Paris is helping students for the accommodation, David.
Yes, accommodation is the other here. I have a computer who sometimes is very, very sensitive. Here it is. We do work with the Studa part, who is our main partner for accommodation. We work with a lot of different accommodation for students. What we do is in some of them you have a discount code, some of them we have a specific portal, depending on the profile you are looking for. We also have a social worker This social worker is mainly because the paperwork in France to get all the government help is crazy. I don't know why, but French love papers and copies and documents and paperwork. So in France, because you have a lot of possibilities of getting help from the government, we have a person that will help the students to move forward all these paperworks. And of course, we also take care of women safe and we take care of reforestation. So yes, we do everything about accommodation and the help in the government.
Perfect. Then there was some question about how is the payment, but you just mentioned Flywire. This is how you use, and this Flywire, we will send the information how to make the payment. Is very, very simple. Now, I think you can continue. We received many questions, but we answer quite all at the moment. So we will try to answer more questions in a second stage. Now, let's move forward with the second, with another page.
Okay, then I will move. I have not the pages specifically because it's more difficult, but we were here about the university and each one of the years and the different graduation ceremonies where we participate. Because I saw on the question, and I know most of your students, when they travel abroad, they have the accreditation of the university, the accommodation, the possibilities to work, and finally the possibility to stay on the country, right? This is, if not the top 4 questions, is between the top 10 questions. We answer the one about the programs and about the accreditation, because of course we are a recognized institution. If not, Richard will not accept me here. Second one about accommodation, I just answered you. Now let's focus on working possibilities, because doesn't matter in which country you are based, your student will always ask you about. So point number 1, all students in France with a visa, with a student visa, can work up to 20 hours per week, part-time. Every single student, doesn't matter the nationality. If they have a student visa, they can work up to 20 hours per week, part-time. And we are speaking about a salary between an average 700, 750 and 900 euros. Okay? Of course, the better is their French level, the better will be the job they apply. If they speak just English, they will have one kind of job compared if they do speak English and French. If they are from Latin America or they are from Asia, for example, and if they do speak 3 languages, of course, job will be better. But legally, they can work. Also, any of the students, especially about masters that come to France, can keep their own job in their home country, and that happens a lot from Latin America, doing remote workers. So this is interesting for your master students. Tell them to negotiate with their own companies so they can do a job from France as a remote worker while studying, because they are not getting paid in France. They are not paying taxes on this remote job because it's from their home countries, and they will be able to combine the studies, the job in France, and the remote job from the home countries. And finally, post-study working permit. Every student after a master level will have a 1 year of post-study working permit to look for a full-time job. This working permit is valid only 1 year, and the condition to change a student visa to a working visa is that the job they get is 1.5 times the minimum salary. This is very important. You will only be able to change your visa if you have a job that has a 1.5 time superior salary than the minimum salary. Okay?
Very good.
Questions about that? Because normally there is a lot of questions about jobs.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I wanted to ask you some more questions about this one. Let's go back a second. Let's presume the visa will come late. Okay. Will the student be able to defer to the next intake?
Yes, no problem. We have two intakes, September and March.
Okay. So let's presume the visa came late and the school cannot accept it anymore for many reasons, maybe because it come middle of September. The question is as well, let's presume they will start on the 10th of September and the visa came on the 20th of September. How much is the distance they can start?
Depending on the program, because of course a bachelor and an MBA are very different profiles, we accept 2 to 4 weeks difference.
Okay, perfect. So this is a very important point. Some more question come inside on this. So you have two intake, September and March. So the program that you show today, are these available in September or in March, or in March there are less program?
The same, September and March.
Okay, same program, September and March. Perfect. Um, okay, so we have more question come inside. What about the insurance for the visa, David? Can you maybe give us some information about the insurance for the visa just to have an idea how much it costs?
I don't know the cost of the insurance specifically because it depends on the profile and the country. So it's important, and I never play with insurance because it's another completely different game. What the students needs is a medical visa for the visa, no, medical insurance for the visa, and legal responsibility. But it's the same visa. I don't know if you were with Guarmi or with AXA or with ABI. There is a special visa paper on this industry that for sure Richard know, or if needed, I can put you in contact with different companies.
Yeah. Now let's go back to Collège de Paris has many campus in Paris, in Lyon, in Montpellier, in France, and as well in Bruxelles, in Belgium, in Spain. What about ranking? Can you tell us about, is there any ranking in France? Is there any, because sometimes parents always say, I want to know the ranking position of the university, etc. Do you have some information about this?
Yes, I will need to look for my other presentation because I don't have it in this one. Uh, uh, Point number one, I don't think the rankings are so good because except if you go to Harvard or Stanford
No, no, no.
or
I'm
this
talking
kind
about
of.
in France. In France, if there is any,
In
um,
France, they do not use rankings
okay, perfect.
because all the public education is the same one. So they are not supposed, no, and I don't found the other presentation. They are not supposed to have a ranking.
Okay, I was
So
thinking about this one. In France, this is not possible because there is because of the competition. It should not be correct. They don't use the English system to make a long story short.
exactly.
I need to ask you, David, about the visa process now, because I think this is something very important. Can you tell us what a student needs to
About
apply for a
visa,
visa?
this is, I will give you, if that works correctly, there is something the French did very good, and is the visa support. Is surprisingly good. So now you are in Google, right? You can see See, you can see the
Not
visa.
yet.
You just type visa simulation France. Everyone can do that at home. You can recommend that to any student. And you will automatically arrive to the assistance visa from the government. You put it in English, and you can do, sorry for the delay with my computer, but it's getting older and older. You can do a full simulation for the student. So, for example, Amadou Akinware, where are you from? And I choose Amadou because he's just here on my screen and I can see his face.
You can make, for example, let's make Nigeria to have an idea.
So,
This is Nigeria, yes.
Nigerian, a student who is 18 years old. Is he married to a French nationality? No. He's applying for the visa in Nigeria for a long stay visa to stay in France with an ordinary passport. Okay, standard student. They need a visa if they are not from Europe, if they are not married. Classic. Your plans to study and as a student because it's not a minor and it's not an internship. The system itself will give you all the details that the student do need to present about the purpose of the trip, the procedure, the proof of monthly income to show to the to Campus France and the embassy, all the information. And this is official information. It's not David telling you what to do. This is the government.
Can I
Where
ask
to
you,
apply.
can I ask you a favor, David? Can you copy this and put this on the chat system below? Thank you, David. This is very helpful.
This is the only right thing the French has organized to share information about the visas.
Perfect, perfect. This is very good. So everyone is clear
Especially
on this.
because,
Perfect, perfect.
and when the student or you as an agency read all the details, you just submit online.
Yeah.
You will create your account and you will upload all the information. What I always recommend for you as agencies that take care of the service you provide to your students is do a simulation. Put your profile and move forward to all the steps until the moment you need to ask for the visa. Don't ask for the visa, or yes, depends on your life. But at least see how easy it is to do all this paperwork online or this system, because it will be extremely helpful for you. About the French is very important. They are extremely picky. So if they say they do need 615 euros per month, do not present 614. Do present 616. If they say we do not accept credit card balance, we do need the bank statement, or we do need the proof of transfer, exactly present what they request, because they don't like versions of understanding. Okay, that's very important. It's not a difficult visa if you present the right documents. If you invent another document, forget about it. And also about the visa, French embassies take care to recruit people that could think. In some countries, I know agencies train the students to repeat a speech. If in Campus France or at the embassy, the student is repeating a speech like a parrot, they will not have the visa. Okay, so that's very important. Students need to demonstrate why they want to go to France, why they deserve to go to France. So tell your students to be ready to explain, to give arguments, to, to use the critical capacity of express themselves. That's extremely important for French.
Thank you, David. I have some more questions come inside. I think, do some of these university in France or Belgium or Spain offer any scholarship or scholarship for merit? Is there any scholarship that maybe we should be aware of?
Yes, we do offer scholarship only based on the merit, not on the incomes, mainly for second year. Okay? There is two type of scholarship for year 2 or year 3. Type 1 is the classical scholarship. The student has good marks, so we give them a 30 or a 50% scholarship, just money. And there is the type 2 that for me is the good scholarship, especially interesting for master students. In France, there is something called alternance. Alternance is when a company will hire you, not you, will hire the student. This company will pay 100% of tuitions of your 2 master and will pay a part-time salary around 900, 1,000 euros, depending on the profile. So if your student that pays year 1 of master on international management is on the top 30% of the class, Collège de Paris will help him found this company. We will help him, we will found the company with him. So the student will have a 100% scholarship for the tuition, plus a job on an office, on a company. And what happens when a company has invested in a student 1 year of tuitions, 1 year of salary, and 1 year of training? That if the student is good enough, just after the master, they will do a job offer. Most of the companies in France, when they recruit foreign students, they do this pathway. They look for alternance, so it's like an apprentice, I think is the right word. An
Correct.
apprentice in year 2 of master. They train them because it's extremely cheap because they are students and there is government help. And if they are good enough, they hire them. So this is for me the right way of having a scholarship and is getting a job. Company pays you year 2 and offers you a job if you are good enough.
This is very clear. This is very, very clear. I have one more questions in refer of the accommodation. On the visa document is written clearly that the candidate need to show a confirmation of the accommodation. How this will be handled by the school?
Normally, the student needs to present the first 4 weeks of accommodation.
Okay.
So it's not handled by the school. If the student requests the accommodation, we will charge you for 4 weeks of accommodation and we will send you the accommodation confirmation, the reservation, the booking for the residence.
Okay.
Is that
So
teams.com?
I understand. So it's the school who help the students technically. The
Yes.
students, the school send a letter. The logical the student needs to pay, and for the residents, whatever, and the school send out a letter, and this letter must be included on the visa process. We receive
Yes.
a question that maybe you can read as well from Mr. Zia-ur Rehman from Pakistan. What is the required GPA or percentage for master and bachelor?
We don't have any specific GPA. Of course, in France, the GPAs are up to 20. but we can do it up to 100. It's going to be easier. We need at least to have a 60% of the high school and the high school diplomas. But the how can I say, the objective of Collège de Paris International and the objective of the owner is to give quality education to as many people as possible. That's why one of the schools is Astencia, because it made reference to the Ascension Sociale. Richard, that you speak French, you know how important for the French is the fact of this social ascension increase. So to give good education to the people that may not always get this opportunity. So don't worry about the GPA. Of course, we need the high school diploma or the university degree, but we are not going to be picky about the students. We need good profiles that want to invest themselves, that are looking for a better life by studies. That's our profile.
So, to make a long story short, I want to
Thank
inform
you.
that David informed the College of Paris accept medium of instruction by the students. This is in refer of the country where the main language is English, like Nigeria, India, Pakistan as well, Bangladesh as well, just to give an idea. So, medium of instruction is accepted. In refer of the academic level, usually he mentions 60, but logically, if a student maybe has 55 or 57, the College of Paris will not reject them. They will look into the file, they will look into the document, and they try to be a little bit flexible. The important is the quality of the students. The students need to give an excellent interview during, because College of Paris will make an interview to every single student, okay? So until the interview, there is no payment to make. So it's very important to prepare the students. What we do here at Weba, we hired the former director of the University of Nottingham, and he interviewed all the students. He prepared all the students for the main interview at the university. So we will send you a credibility questionnaire to read through. This is about a one page, about 20 questions. So you need to go through the credibility questionnaire, read everything in detail, prepare your students. When you think your students are ready, then you inform us. We will make sure to make an interview to directly Chris Bailey, who is a former director of the University of Nottingham. And if he say, okay, now you're ready, then in this case, we will inform College de Paris, and College de Paris will have an excellent students to do an interview. Because it's all about the interview. If you tell the students it's good in English, but then he cannot perform in English during the interview, then it's a problem. So it's very important that you are making sure that your students are very good in English and are very good in performing and answer the question. So let's presume the students will study in Montpellier in France. Maybe the question is, where is Montpellier located? They will ask about the question about the program. Let's presume that he booked for tourismus program. He need to know a little bit more about the school, College de Paris, or the partner of College de Paris as well. So it's very important to prepare the students. So when they have the interview at College de Paris, your students are well there, performing, speak fluent English, and are able to answer all the questions in order to be accepted. This is all about. If the students are accepted, you get the commission. If the students are not accepted, you will not get the commission. And we have to work hard on this every day. And this is a little bit the situation with every university in the world. So, David, I can see that we don't have any more questions at the moment. We have one question. If a student is 15 years old or more, if he can attend, but we never know. If someone is 50 who want to do a master or an MBA, and if maybe he's a former director of a bank and he say, I want to do an MBA in Paris, I think they have to look inside in the file. Why not? There is not a negativity. In Switzerland, we have people who start to do an MBA with 75 years old, so it's never too late to study. David, you want to inform something more? You want to add some part?
No, I think we moved forward most of it. I don't know, Richard, if you want, I share my contact because Mohammed Huzi something is asking for the email.
I
I don't
will
know
do a
from my
follow-up, David. I will do a follow-up. I will
perfecto.
integrate everything. So I will integrate everything inside in one email so that you have all the details. You have a copy of the recorded workshop held today. You will have a copy of the PowerPoint presentation, which include all the program, the price. I will
And
copy the link of the visa process as well as David explained to us. So you will have everything in once. So we will try to do it today, later by tomorrow you will receive it. But we try to do everything today. I'm quite fast on this. So if I can, David, can I share the
no,
PowerPoint
I think
presentation you share with me?
as Carlo, I send you the presentation, and from my side, just to let you know that Collège de Paris is always looking for nice students, very motivated students, because that's what we can bring to the world. I think we, on the educational system, we try to make a better world compared to what we have today, and especially today or the last weeks. So education is always moving forward. France is always open for educational and for education students, for motivate students. And I'm here to help you with Richard through LinkedIn. Everyone knows LinkedIn, but Richard introduced us. Please keep Richard as your main point. Let me know how's coming to Paris in April, so I will be there. I will make sure to be there, whatever the sentence is. Sorry, sometimes too many languages.
No
So
problem.
I will be in Paris to welcome you and check about this PowerPoint. Let me know if you need any other information. Everything is on the Agent Zone. There is tons of PDF, videos, YouTube links, everything for making you easier to share and to promote the programs. Thank you, Richard, for the opportunity. Thank you, everyone, for your time. I hope it was not too boring.
Thank you, David. Thank you. It was very great. It was an excellent presentation. Just to inform all the agents, Collège de Paris is a great college. They have over 75,000 students. They have campus in Paris. They have more campus in France. They even have campus in Belgium, in Spain, in Tunis. So they are good school with many years of experience, more than 20 years of experience. They accept students with English level. They don't need to provide an IELTS certificate, so they accept medium of instruction. This is something very important for you as well to understand. There is no fee to pay in advance. This is something else that you need to understand. So there are many points that are advantage to work with Collège de Paris. On my side is everything. Thank you everyone to join. It's always nice to have so many different agents from around the world. I wish everyone good business, but as well very good health, because in the end, this is the most important part, is to have a good health and always positive mindset. Thank you everyone. Have a great day, have a great afternoon and a great evening. Thank you. Looking forward to see you one of the next time. Bye bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Bye, everyone.